Okay, joining us now is Jeremiah P. Eckrich. Do we use that middle initial?
If you want to.
With security.
I didn't know. I got
to separate myself a little bit, you know. There might be another Jeremiah Eckrich
right
somewhere.
Yeah,
there could. Well, there probably is.
Yeah. Sure.
You, sir, are the author of The Second Stone Age.
Yeah, that's correct.
Just got done reading this book the other day. I tell you what, I don't know how I'm going to let you go ahead and tell the synopsis of what this book is about, because I don't want to blow any details that you kind of want people to buy the book for.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you what I liked about it after that, depending on what you say. I don't want to say too much. So go ahead and give us a synopsis of what this book is about.
All right. Basically, the book is it's a story about a young married couple, and aliens end up coming to Earth, and they commit a devastating act, and these two have to learn how to rebuild their life, basically, without all the modern-day conveniences that we have come to know right now.
Right.
So, you know, they have to work through how to feed themselves, how to get water and shelter, and all these things. So, without blowing the big part of the storyline, which you're aware of, it's really tricky to say, hey, what's this book about? Because there's some really cool things in there that you don't really want to get out too early.
Yeah, there is. So Nate, I told Nate what it was. So
and that was cool. I was like, this is really cool, but if we say it now...
Right.
So I can't even say it.
It's a really...
Rich, don't you... We got Rich Porkchop Jones here, too. He is #1 security for everybody.
I'm a famous guy, you know. What do you want me to do?
I bring this guy with me everywhere.
Now, have you read the book yet?
No, sir.
I put him on the spot.
Okay, so you can't blow any secrets, but the thing we're talking about, the devastating act that happens, and people, you need to read this book because it's really a unique idea. It's one I've not seen in any movie or any other book. So it's really a unique idea, and that's what I liked about the book right off the bat. Because when that happened, I was like, now here's a new thing that it's a modern convenience, but we take it for granted, and it's gone. So without giving any more details, I really like that about the book. But like you say, it's the second Stone Age. Here they have to basically start from scratch.
Absolutely.
I mean, basically starts from scratch. And I like also how the book touches on humanity, and especially where we're at right now. If anything like that happened, you hit on a lot of the same ideas that I would think about. Some people are going to be completely lose their mind, and then others are going to be willing to help.
Right.
But we see both in the story there. We see both people willing to help, and then these people who just go on a rampage and they're out for themselves. And what gave you the idea for this book, though?
Actually, what happened was one day I had left my house. I had some errands to run. I left my cell phone.
Uh-oh.
And my wallet at home.
Oh, boy.
So, you know, I had no cell phone. Couldn't contact anybody. I had no wallet. So, no cash, no debit card. I get out there and try to start running some errands, and I can't do anything.
Oh, no.
And I'm sitting there, and it kind of just came to me. I'm just like, wow, what would it really be like if a lot of the stuff that we've just come to take for granted, that we just use every day, was just, you know, you don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I understand there's folks back in the day that did without this, but we've become accustomed to it over the years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a hassle. I had to drive back home and get all that stuff. I couldn't even go to the bank.
Right.
Because I didn't have my ID.
Right.
I couldn't go to an ATM because I didn't have a debit. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't call somebody and say, hey, can you meet me and bring me my stuff? No, I had to drive all the way back home.
Right.
And I mean, that's a small inconvenience in comparison to what happens in the book.
Exactly.
But that's what got the wheel turning. It was just something like that got the brain clicking.
And I was thinking about that too, and that's funny that you mentioned that people in the past did without these things, and now we can't do without them. You know, my dad used to say to me, well, you know, I didn't need a cell phone back in the day. Nobody needs it. And I'm like, well, yeah, but back in the day, you also didn't buy a car with power locks and windows. Now you won't buy one without it because it's convenience.
This world moves so quick, too. I mean, look at everything we do from our cell phones, you know, banking and emails and just staying in touch with people.
Yeah.
You know, we don't send letters anymore.
I assumed, I didn't get to read the book. That was his job to read it this time. I assumed you were a doomsday prepper.
No,
is he, kids?
There's a little.
The shelter hasn't been built yet.
I think you got the tendencies. I can tell.
But you know, I don't have the $20,000 laying around to build a shelter under my house.
And actually, the characters in the book, they aren't doomsday preppers. But the husband especially has some knowledge of outdoors and things that you can do and what works and what doesn't. So, you know, for everybody, and it doesn't have to be some cataclysmic event. It could be a hurricane or a blizzard come through and knock out the power. Just some normal survival techniques, just knowing about it and what you can do is going to help you.
Right, and that was kind of part of this book is having an entertaining story, but also a little bit of education mixed in there.
Yeah.
I thought the cool part about doing this book was, you can mix some fiction along with some real life possible events and some survival tactics, and when you put all that together, it just created a very interesting story. The main part of the book that I think will start a lot of talk is, the one question is, what would you do if something like this happened? Would you go and try to live with a bunch of other people for safety, or would you go it alone and try to stay away from everybody and stay safe that way?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the big thing in this book, that they have to decide what they're going to do.
Right. And you reference some world events that have happened and how people acted, and that weighed heavily on the character's decision to do what they did, which was go alone for a little bit. As I was reading the book, I think that's probably what I would do.
Me too.
Because I think that even though certain situations arose where other people came up and they gave them trouble and this and that, I think it would be far worse.
Oh, absolutely.
Than what you described. I mean, I think you were trying to curtail it back a little bit so that it's a read for everybody. I mean, kids could read it.
And that was actually really the whole goal, is I was trying to write a family book that parents don't have to hide away from their kids.
Exactly.
Tucking under the pillow or whatever when they walk in. It's something that they could read, pass down to their kid. They could read it as a family. And I tried to write it at a point where maybe, like my son's in 5th grade, I tried to write it at a point where some kids in 5th, 6th grade could read this book without too much trouble. My son read it, loved it. There were some big words in there, just a handful of them that he had to come ask me, but I thought that was fantastic. It teaches them new stuff.
Yeah, that's
the point of reading, right?
Widens their vocabulary.
Absolutely.
Hey, Jeremiah, you also don't want to forget about the one person that you don't want to mention names, but of who got a little emotional during that book as well.
Oh, yeah, that's funny you said that. I was just actually talking to somebody who bought the book today, and so I had an opportunity to say, well, what'd you think? And she was like, oh, it was really, really good. And she goes, she kind of looked at me, and she goes, I actually cried a couple times.
Oh, boy.
When I read the book, and I looked at her, it kind of shocked me, because I didn't know if I was really that kind of writer or not,
Right.
And I said, are you being serious right now? She goes, no, absolutely. She goes, I cried a couple times.
Wow.
And I said, wow, and that's really cool part about writing, is when you can touch somebody like that through a book, they're not even seeing it. That's really cool. And I enjoyed hearing that, not the fact that she cried. I'm not that mean.
Right.
It was cool that she was able to get into the book, and I wrote it well enough that she could enjoy it to that level.
Yeah.
So.
Now, everybody on the planet Earth wants to write a book, including deaf and blind people like Helen Keller. Okay, everybody. Did you always fancy yourself a writer? I mean, you're one guy. I mean, everybody wants to write one, but not everybody does. How did you even get the ball rolling on this?
It was tough. I mean, I never grew up thinking, hey, I'm gonna be a writer. Actually, if you talk to any of my friends, and when I told them I had written a book and had it published, their jaws hit the floor. They're like, what? They just didn't look at me as that kind of person, But I was actually, when I was over the road truck driving, is kind of when a lot of it got started. I had so much time driving for 11 hours at a time, in the wee hours of the morning, following DOT protocol, mind you. They might be listening tonight, I want to keep them on their good side.
We're going to nail him one way or the other.
Right, we're going to find this guy now. That's really where a lot of my creativity came from, because I just had so much time to think.
That's
awesome. You can't call anybody at 3 o'clock in the morning to chit-chat.
No.
So, that's where a lot of it got going, and I just said, you know what, I really think we need to start putting this into book form, because I love telling stories. I love talking to people. It's just who I am.
Right.
But when I had that much time to think, it was like, let's get this on paper.
Yeah, I think this book would make a good movie in the fact that it could be a family movie, but it could also have that suspense and that drama in there that you have in the book. But it could also be a family movie that the whole family can watch, but also learn something.
Absolutely.
And I think and as I read it, I thought that's why it's going to make a good movie if it ever gets to that point. And is that your goal? Or?
Oh, absolutely. Actually, it's funny you said movie, because I've been tossing that up.
Okay.
Because of how the storyline goes, I've actually thought miniseries. Due to the fact that you could take this thing for a very long ride.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, my brain's already twirling on another book.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like Lost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be like that miniseries.
Right, but I mean, there's so many different levels, I could take this down the road that, a movie would just kind of stop it in a sense. or I'd have to kind of wait until I'm writing the other books, you know, so that way it didn't mess up the next book. But, you know, there's a lot of tossing up there. But yes, no, actually, I'd love to do one of those two.
Is writing books like killing people? It gets easier after the first one. Allegedly.
You know, it's funny you say that
because I have killed people. Well, you were in law enforcement, right?
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Hey, how long ago was this, sir? Are you past the limit of statutation?
Oh boy,
There is no statute on murder, is there?
So Nathan, are you trying to tell us you're like the next Sling Blade that's going on then, or what?
That's it.
Dude picks up a hatchet, I'm running. That's all I'm going to say. Former or not, I'm out of here. Pork chop, you're taking the hit on this one,
I'll
buddy.
take the hit on this one. All right, I can do that.
So you were formerly in law enforcement, though?
Yeah, I was.
So how did that help with the book, or did it?
No, actually, it did. Just knowing how different people act and getting to see that interaction out there in the community.
Yeah.
You know, you see the really good side of people as a police officer, but you also see an ugly side of people.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, no, that played a big part in it. So
Now, on the back of your book, it said you tried your hand at professional modeling. Hand modeling?
yeah.
Just with your hand?
Look at that. Is that not a wonderful hand?
Look at that hand. You kids got that? Wow.
Yeah, dude, they're going to be somebody one day with those hands.
Yeah, man.
Milky
keep
white
them hands.
skin.
Yeah, keep them lotioned up.
And lotioned up. Oil of
I always
oil.
have.
Hi-yo!
Earmuffs. Earmuffs.
Hi-yo. Okay, moving
Not
on.
hand modeling
But
for
I
real, though.
actually
Okay.
I did do some modeling and a little acting. So
Now, is that something you would encourage your kids to get in?
oh, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
that's-
into like guitars and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, you know, musician, acting, modeling. I think all that stuff's, you know, a good way to go. But, you know, if you don't have a parent in your life that can keep you grounded in a profession like that's when I'd say no.
Yeah.
But,
you
you
turn
know,
out you turn out like Justin Bieber.
right.
Do everything, kids. Be involved in the debate team and the school plays and the band and all this and all that, and then figure out, man, what you're gravitating toward.
All your dreams.
What you want to do is get so heavily involved in everything that you have no time to be a kid.
That's right.
That's the millionaires in the world.
But they can't bug their parents that way, right?
Right. Exactly.
But I keep telling Bacon Bits, hey, you got to make a professional career out of something, man, so that way I can take care of this.
we shout this out.
He's a wrestler.
Yeah, he's a wrestler.
And a
football
good one,
player.
right?
Yep. Taking first, second, and third in tournaments, so he's making a name for himself.
Nice, man.
He looks like a hoss back there. I don't think I'd want to mess with him. I don't think so.
So you said it's easier. The second book's going to be easy. I mean, how long? I always think about a guy sitting. What's the lady I always bring up?
Angela Lansbury. Even though
Lansbury.
she wasn't really an author.
I know, but to me she was, and she was hot.
There's there's wrote in the title. Murder, She Wrote.
She's typing. This is you. Is this kids? Is this your dad at home? He's typing and he's just throwing tons of balled up paper on the floor. Was that him?
No, I throw them in what's we call the burn pile.
There you go.
You know, because we don't use typewriters anymore.
Right,
so
right.
the printed paper just goes into a big box, and when we have our fires outside, they slowly get burned.
Is there a lot of that though?
A ton.
Yeah.
A ton.
So that must have been the paper that we burned that last fire that we
Yeah,
had.
it was.
But you're still using paper, which most people. We've got some author friends that do it all on computer, and their cats have actually deleted huge portions.
Cat come over walking and deleted everything.
Huge portions of the book. Man, that would be tough.
That cat wouldn't be in my house after that day. I can tell you that right now.
That cat would be on the rotisserie.
There'd be an ad posted. Anybody want a free cat? I will pay you.
He deletes manuscripts.
I've always wondered when a guy's writing a book, and I haven't got to read yours, but I will, and there's several characters. When you get down to chapter 7 and have to revisit a character from chapter 2, do you have to kind of go back and remind yourself what's going on? Or is it all flowing for you?
Sometimes. It just depends. Like, you know, if I've taken a break or something like that from writing for a little bit, then sometimes I have to go back and revisit. And it's more so to make sure I don't make a mistake in the timeline of events. You know, I have it in my head of what's going on, but I don't want to say something later on that contradicts what happened earlier, because that's devastating, you know? So,
You definitely can do that.
I strive, put 100% into what I'm doing, and I want it to turn out right and be just perfect. I get it. Not everybody's going to love my book or like my book, but I want to try to put out the best product that I feel I can put out.
Right.
Well, we're going to go to commercial, and I'm going to read as much of this book as I can.
It's a 12-chapter book.
He took that speed reading course that was on pay-per-view or infomercial back in the 80s. So
Hey, Nate, that's one of those things that you could read when you're in bed and you're thinking at night on some of your posts, and it's like, hey, maybe I could do this.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, man, he's going to flip-flop that thing around so bad. Hey, folks, on the way out to the break, let's give a listen to Rob Sonic. This is Alice in Thunderdome. This is one of our favorite rappers. Anyway, we're going to be right back here on the Brothers on Whatever program with more Jeremiah P. Eckrich in his book, The Second Stone Age. He's going to tell you where you can find that. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Coming to key, Burns had a chopper with his mug on the heat. And like, do not apprehend if you're not one of his keepers. Shovel your sheep, burden, shepherd your ferry. To jostle in and out of all available bearings. Bottle in his mouth, he got a Coppola airy. Pulled over to Galiki, got cannoli to carry. Picking his accent, he passes the payer. A little in a mutton and the rest in the day. Two fang, loose frank, dripping your hater. A blue flank, two jank, Jefferton's mayor. Peppermint prayer, the apple asleep with a half-lit camel in the back.
And now we return to the Brothers on Whatever program, right here on CBS Sports 920 and InsideSTL.com.
We are back in the Mansfield Construction Studio. This is the Brothers on Whatever. We are with Jeremiah P. Eckrich.
He never gets anybody's name right.
And his personal security, his book has gone so huge, he's had to get personal security. Rich Porkchop Brolo Jones.
Bob Brolos.
Yeah, man. Hey, give us a call or text. We prefer text. 314-880-0808. I used to have a girlfriend who lived with me, and we laid in bed and just texted each other.
That's fantastic.
And it didn't work out, but you can see why.
Is that like your 39-day marriage?
It's so weird. It was so weird, but I was like, well, if this is the only way to get her to open up. The reason I haven't read your book, and I will, but usually I'm in charge of reading the female authors' books because I normally take a shower. But when I read the author's books, I take a bath.
Right.
They really get, like, Jennifer Seitz really gets weirded out about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't wait for your new book so I can take a bath again.
I don't really know if I want you reading it now.
Yeah, it's going to be weird.
Yeah.
Dude.
She gets weirded out as she...
I'll read yours in the shower.
I appreciate
I'm going to go
that.
get it laminated.
So, I like how you left the story open at the end. I mean, really, it's almost a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It's almost a wrap-up, but it's not quite a wrap-up. It's just letting you know what they're in for, like what it is now, how the world is now. So, the second book, you're writing it right now? Or
No, I haven't even started on that.
You got the ideas going?
Yeah, I mean, I'd really like to. The direction I think it'll end up going is going to be pretty complicated.
Okay.
It's going to take a lot of research, just like this book did, because of the survival tactic stuff.
good.
You know, it takes a lot of research. So I would like to, but with that being said, I do already have another book. I just got to finish cleaning it up and get it out there, but it'd probably be another few months before that's ready.
Well, you want to let this one marinate.
Exactly. That's the whole goal. Yeah. So
no doubt. Okay, so in the book, there was 3 dogs right off the bat.
Yep.
Now, as soon as I read,
They're on the cover.
Yeah.
They're let me get it. These are Doberman Pinschers.
they are.
Yeah. Now,
I was gonna say little Chow Chow.
yeah, you're
Chowie
gonna
Chowies.
say
That's our protectors.
Chow chows. Anyway, yeah, I thought right off the bat that, okay, 3 dogs, you got to feed yourself. You don't need to be feeding 3 dogs. However, you do make a reference in there that they could find their own food, and that's probably what they did. But the dogs did help out in the security or whatever. They let them know if somebody was there. But I was still thinking, you know what? I don't want to have to worry about any animals other than myself.
Right.
But I think that bringing the dogs in, though, especially since pets are so big nowadays, I think that's going to be a help.
Yeah.
You know, in people reading this, they're going to be able to connect with that because, you know, they're going to know their own dogs are going to protect them, too.
Right, and I grew up with Dobermans.
Yeah.
That's why they're in there. But, yeah, Dobermans are very, very protective animals. They're good animals, and they're kind animals, but if you mess with their family, they will let you know.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that was kind of the whole point, you know, was with all this chaos going on, you know, we can't talk too much, but it's kind of hard to protect yourself with the situation going on.
Oh, absolutely.
So, you know, dogs were a fantastic way to help keep safe.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at the cover of this, and the woman has no ass. Is that what the aliens took? They took.
That's what they're all about.
That's something that men can't do without.
If I knew you liked the little booty, I would have put a little booty
We
on
could have
there.
used it. Hey,
I'm sorry.
And a bump.
But for people, and I posted a picture of this on the Brothers on Whatever Facebook page. For people who obviously don't know what the aliens took, look at the picture and see if you can guess.
Ah, there you go.
Because I was just looking at it, and I'm like, okay, this makes perfect sense now.
Right.
Interesting.
So where can people find this book? Shout all the venues out. if
It's
you will.
basically at every major retailer. You can go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can go to exlibris.com.
Right.
It's available in print. It's also available in ebook. The ebook's $2.99. I don't think you can go wrong with that.
Can't go wrong.
So as far as the price on the paperback, it depends on who you're going through.
Right. Exactly.
So,
exactly.
And you got to give that code word still.
Oh,
You gotta
yeah.
get it.
All right, so I'm going to give a couple shout-outs real quick.
Sure,
since we got
let's
a
do
minute.
that. Let's do that.
First of all, I'd like to thank my buddy, Rich Jones, a.k.a. Pork Chop.
Brolo!
Brolo!
We should brolotize him today.
Yeah.
We should. You know what? Let me go get that hooked up.
Okay, you guys keep
All
going.
right, cool. So, I mean, I just want to say thank you to him because without him, we wouldn't have all got to meet and set all this up. So,
Right.
I mean, he was an important factor in that, and he's a good friend, and I appreciate all his support he's given
Hey,
me. while
you
writing
know
this
what,
book.
Jeremiah? I'll do anything I can to help you guys out. Same way with you, Nathan and Brandon. I'll do anything I can to help you guys out.
Appreciate it.
Send out those invites, and do whatever I can. That's what I'm here for, is to help anybody that's trying to make a living.
And normally we really check out our guests because we got a lot of bozos who want to come on here and they got nothing going. And I said, you know what? I'm not even going to check this Jeremiah guy out because Pork Chop has gave his stamp of approval.
Sucker, I slipped through a crack there, didn't I?
And Pork Chop, this is the last guy.
That's right.
No more guests.
You got duped. I'd like to thank my family, my daughter Natalie Eckrich. I'd like to thank Austin. You guys don't understand when you're writing something like this and you're involved. It takes a lot of time away from the family.
Oh, yeah. It
does.
And I mean, especially when you're doing that, you're working another full-time job on top of doing that.
Yep.
It's like, can we go do? It's like, hey, I got to get this done. I got to get this
gotta
done,
write this
guys.
book. Yeah.
Right. So
Now that the book's done, you'll be able to go on all her dates with her and
Oh, yeah,
all
I'm
your
gonna be-
school dances.
I'm going to be there.
And that's
All the stuff I've
important.
missed.
That's
You're
right.
absolutely right.
Be
So,
right
Cool.
there.
I want to say thank you to my wife for putting up with everything. She was fantastic. I know it's tough when you don't get to be with this guy. It gets time. You know what I'm saying? So
I like that.
Valentine's Day's coming up.
Big head.
That is hilarious.
The ego on this guy.
That is funny,
No,
dude.
but
How much would it cost to FedEx your head somewhere? It's huge.
I work there, so they'd probably take it for free to get it out of their place. But no, hey, since we're right here talking about all this, we're going to do a code word right now. I'm actually going to give away 10 free ebooks.
Wow.
And the way I'm going to do this is there's going to be a code word, and because my buddy here setting all this up, we're going to use the code word Pork Chop.
Oh.
So,
all right.
Pork Chop's going to be the word. What you guys can do is go on my Facebook page. It's pretty long, so I'll probably have you guys post it for me later. But
Okay.
it's Boeck Inc. /Jeremiah P. Eckrich. And all I want you to do is you can private message me with that code word. I'll have your contact information. We'll do a random drawing. I'll pick 10 people out, and I'll instant message you back with the code you'll need to go and get your free ebook.
Sweet, man. That's awesome. Well, I tell you what, right at this time, should we brolotize both of them?
Let's do everybody in this room.
Honorary. Let's
Everybody
do
in the
this.
room. We got
Everybody.
We got one broly in here behind me.
Broly.
So we're gonna brolotize you. Now listen closely to what this says, and then
Serious.
we'll explain. This is serious.
Get
Steve,
smirks off your face.
Steve, hit that brolotize.
You have now been Rolotized. You have been chosen. Now go and make strong the Brolohood, realizing that with each choice you make, your Brolo status hangs in the balance. Do not ever forsake the title of Brolo, 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 Brolo.
I forgot the kids couldn't hear it because they don't have
couldn't.
the-
Yeah, I was just sitting there thinking
That's
that
okay.
she's back there videotaping us.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a lot more dramatic with these headphones on. She's back there looking at us going, what are these clowns doing right now?
There is dead silence.
Do we have time to do the
Yeah, we're
Brothers
gonna,
Breakdown with this guy?
What we like to do is we like to play little games with our guests sometimes. We have a thing
Especially
that
if they're hot chicks.
Yeah. Sorry to disappoint you.
we have a little a game that we play called the Brothers Breakdown. And what we do, we just give you a subject, and we're going to throw out a bunch of things to you, and then you tell us, yes or no or whatever. But this time, we're going to throw out some titles of some future books that are coming out.
Oh, wow.
Okay? And we want you to listen to the title, and then you're going to just tell us, and this goes really quick. We only got like a 2-minute bumper here. You tell us, like, in 10 seconds or less, what that book's about, what you think it's about.
Right on.
Okay? All right, so hit that theme music. All right, so I've got Alien Hospital.
Alien Hospital. Let's see here. They're going to fix people up in a hospital and torture them.
Okay. All right, Nate.
We've heard of the book Land Before Time. Land Before Dime Bags.
Oh, yeah. I think that's going to get started over in Illinois and Colorado and probably migrate through the rest of the country.
Oh, yeah.
For some of our stoners, that could be the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th Stone Age.
Yeah, right. See?
Okay, all right.
Good introduction.
Here we go. The Thing Was Brown.
Wow. You can go a lot of places with that.
I don't know if we want to go some of those places, though.
Wow.
Okay, that's enough.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Nate, you got another one?
The Second Bone Age.
I think we know where Nate's at.
There's 3 dogs on the front of my book, so I don't know where you're going, but
That's where I was going, kid.
I was see, keep it
Shame
clean.
on all you.
Yeah, you dirty-minded.
All right, here's a sequel coming up. The Knights of the Oddly Shaped Table.
Wow.
That sounds like a bunch of old people playing cards.
Hexagon.
All right, The Mailman Is No More. Ooh, talk about a service being removed from the earth.
It just about is, ain't it?
Well,
With
I
email?
guess maybe the mailman being gone, that might be why I ran, because my wife's pregnant. What's up with that?
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Gonna have another pork crackling in it.
Hey, we almost missed our mail on Saturday, so it's getting close.
If the mail ever stops in UPS and FedEx, Rich's wife's sex life is really going to come down. It's a lot.
Going on a downward spiral. Hey, here we go. This is a popular book, but this is kind of an offshoot. 50 Shades of Hay.
Oh, yeah, it takes place in a barn.
Yeah, that's
Right, yeah, donkeys and horses and good times.
There we go. Okay, I got one more for you. Fiddler on the Roofie.
Ooh. I think somebody ends up passed out in this book.
Well, no, actually, we know what that's about. It's the unauthorized tell-all of Bill Cosby.
Oh! Gotcha.
Ooh.
Oh, well, that's all I got. Steve, you can go ahead and turn that down.
I think
Oh,
we're
there
all-
was the buzzer. That was perfect.
I think we're all Bill Cosby fans here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't we?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think we're going to get into
His sweater. Man, we went to an event. Oh, the wrestling thing.
wrestling.
A guy had a Bill Cosby sweater on. I mean, it was 1986, probably.
Yeah, white guy with a blown-out mullet.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a mullet.
He had a Bill Cosby sweater on that was about, 3-4 sizes too big?
Oh, it was huge. It was silly.
It was a tight neck sweater, but it was so big that it was a swoop neck.
Oh, wow.
It was ridiculous.
That's styling right there.
It was ridiculous. But anyway, okay, man, we want to thank you for coming in and bringing this book. We got some signed copies here from me and Nate. This is going to go up in our swag closet, or actually in my hallway. I usually frame stuff like this. Got a whole hallway of signed stuff. But, man, I want to encourage all the listeners to check out this book, The Second Stone Age by Jeremiah P. Eckridge. And like you said, it's a book you can read with your family, too. And you hit on some family values in there, too, that every family should have, I believe. And when you read the book, you're going to know what that is. But the thing that happens in this book is really unique. That's all I can say to our listeners. And if you read it, you're gonna really be astonished, and it is gonna make you think, because it made me think.
Right. That was the whole goal, is I wanted to do something nobody else had done yet.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to try to continue to do as I write books.
Yeah, and as you were bringing it, what I liked about this book is it made me think, and as I was reading the book, and then the husband and the wife were talking about certain things that happened in this and that, I was thinking in my mind, well, they can just do this. Well, no, they can't.
Right.
Because of that, So we don't want to give it away, but everybody should check out The Second Stone Age by Jeremiah P. Eckridge. Available at every venue you can think of, Amazon, Kindle, what have you. And it is available in some bookstores, or?
Actually, I have a book signing February 21st. That's next Saturday. It's going to be at 1 p.m. In the West County Mall. They actually will have copies on hand.
Is there a Q&A?
Is there going to be a Q&A? Question?
No.
I've got a lot of Angela Lansbury questions. That's what I do to Jennifer Seitz at her Q&A.
Yeah, no, probably not at this one. But, yeah, I'll be there at 1 o'clock
Okay.
next Saturday, Barnes & Noble, West County Mall.
Okay.
Yes, they will have copies on hand.
We'll have you trace over the ones you already autographed for us. Second signing.
There you go.
That's awesome. Well, man, Jeremiah, we want to thank you for coming in, man. Truly a great book. Everybody go check it out. Second Stone Age by Jeremiah P. Eckrich, and he's going to be appearing at the West County Mall, Barnes & Noble, February 21st, 1 p.m.
Yes, sir.
All right, so be there.
Pork chop will be there, no doubt.
Pork chop's going to be on a tour
Pork
next
chop!
week.
This guy's going to get killed.
I mean,
Fucking me out.
he's already failing.
I'm in a mall. You know what's going to happen to this guy?
Dead.
Well, in the famous words of John Daughtry, who wanted me to make a shout out to him, top flight security of the world, Craig.
That's all I wanted to do. Yeah. Good deal.
Man, this is a
Top Flight
pork
Security.
chop.
Check it out.
Oh, I'm scared.
Man,
Thanks,
man,
kids, for coming in.
Yeah, we want to thank your kids for coming in here, too.
Guys, can I give a couple shout outs to some of the
absolutely.
bands?
Roll it,
man.
roll it.
Divine Sorrow, Divide the
Yes.
Empire, Mental Fixation. Guys, I love you guys. Can't wait to see you guys play again. My Windsor C1 School District bus drivers, love you guys. Couldn't ask for a better group of drivers to work with. Brandon, Nathan, thank you guys so much.
Got it.
You're welcome,
Thanks,
man.
guys.
Jeremiah, thank you for letting me be a part of this and helping you out where I can. Like I said, couldn't do it without all you guys. Love you all, man. You guys are awesome.
Awesome, and let me tell you something from experience. That if you go see any of those bands he mentioned, Divine Sorrow, Divide the Empire, and Mental Fixation, which Mental Fixation, they all are kick butt, but Mental Fixation for a group of kids, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
They are awesome. But let me tell you, if you go see any of those bands and you decide that you want to act a fool, this guy right here, this pork chop,
Yep.
don't worry.
He'll have you out.
Don't worry, he'll have you straightened up
On your
or he'll
out-
have
on
you
your arse.
completely
That's right.
out.
Don't take long, man. Don't be screwing up.
And to our texters who are asking questions about the book, man, just buy it. Check it out yourself.
Right, or you guys can go to that Facebook page. I opened that up so we can talk about it, and have an open forum to be able to talk about the book. So.
And we got a text.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to look.
They're trying to guess. They say, do they lose their cell phones? No. I'm going to tell you. That's part of it.
to get your mind blown. It's
Part
what's
of it.
going to happen.
But you gotta read this book, Second Stone Age by Jeremiah P. Eckrich. Thank you once again for coming in.
Thank you, guys.